upgraded or altered is you can individually turn off glitches with a 3.0. Does look everyone's off to the races here. Ooh, this is gonna be a challenge. We've got a Kidia to start, and Adamant is gonna be our first key item.
I mean, I think in this flag set you're hoping that the spoon is going to be the opening item, but obviously we don't get that. Right now, really hoping to find some type of early game opening item. Good example would be a dancing dagger, would be useful for either one of these characters. Also a good J item like a Gaia Drum Star Veil. That could get you by one of the early bosses and help open up the start.
Yeah, and the reason we were hoping for the spoon is because the spoon flag allows Edward to equip the spoon as a weapon, and it hits 255 attack power. So it turns Edward into a viable late game character if you can get his HPs up there. Looks like Vitasia forgot to start his timer, but that's okay. We can go off of everybody else.
Tella's hanging out in the Baron Inn. Nothing too special from the equipment we've seen so far. There were Hourglass 3s for sale. That's moderate news because while they're longer lasting, they're more expensive for not really a lot of benefit.
Yeah, my personal preference is the Hourglass ones. You generally don't need them to go any longer than those. Unless you're just really weak and taking out something really high up there, then Hourglass 2s will do you.
Interesting checks going on here. We got a Kaipo check and a Mist check.
Looks like Lifes and Ether 1s are for sale in Kaipo. And we'll see what we have here in Mist Village here momentarily. Looks like Vitasia's looking for that Mist Dragon, not finding it in Octomam.
No, that was Vavalis, who is not gonna be free at all with this party. You're gonna want something more to clear that spot.
Right, but it's a good thing to find Vavalis there in a non-required spot, and nice to know she's not going to be hardwalling you later on somewhere else.
Okay, couple big pickups there on Batasia's side. We saw a Dragon Whip, which is going to be useful for Rydia to equip. Also a Boris, which is an Ice 2, so that's something that might sneak you past a Fire Boss.
Yeah, that definitely.
So this has been an okay start as far as the treasure goes. Looks like Yang's sleeping on the job. After all, he is the most rude character in the game.
Well, he's at least got his allergies sneezing all the time.
Moonvale, Stardust. This has been a very rewarding destination for Poydrak. Again, it's one of those interesting checks because it's a little out of your routing for any kind of required progress. So that's just hunting to find something, and fortunately does. Tasia's going to check the Mist Dragon spot. Again, easy boss.
Looks like we've got the lunar dragons in the Antlion Cave.
And a few levels for Vitasia. That's always a welcome thing at the start of the game.
Oh no, that was in Mist Dragon's Mist Cave, not Antlion Cave. My apologies.
Yeah, that was just hunting for experience, and you could loot the treasures in there, but T3, it's not necessarily going to be a lot.
looks like we've got Sid and one of the variations of Mylon up the top at Hobbs, and it's Mylon Z.
We could fire, but don't know that we have any fire particularly to use. Earth Hammer, though, that might work out.
Yes. Answering a question in chat, yes, bosses do get scaled to the HP, attack power, and magic power values of the position they are found, but the mechanics of the boss still work the same.
Dross, meanwhile, has found the magma key in Antlion Cave. That Boras did exactly what I said it could do. Snuck you past one fight.
Yeah, that was a nice quick kill on Calbrenna. Able to cast Ice 2 on all the dolls at once, taking them out all in one shot.
That's also going to open the subworld where we have then access to most of the rest of the shops. A lot more treasures. You can get to Sylph Cave for another free item, and you can fight your way through a couple other places. Options become available. I think one interesting thing that does, though, is it's going to steer people away from mount ordeals. So do any of our featured runners make the gamble to go ordeals when the seed is telling you not necessary?
Knowing these runners fairly well, with the exception of Dr. Cossack, at this point, my gut says they're gonna skip it. No Tella, no Cecil. They've already, we know where our underground access is. My gut says no, we're not gonna see Mount Ordeals at this point.
Well, you say no Tella, but remember, he's just hanging out in the Baron Inn.
This is true, but still, we've still got a lot of characters to find, and most likely Tella's not going to be, a high priority character. I mean, we've already found our underground access. I don't even know if they're even going to go to the Baron Inn at this point.
We've gotten so many things for Sid. You just really have your options. You can make an archer out of him. You can do the rune axe. You can do the ogre axe. He's gotten all kinds of choices today.
Yeah, it looks like Sid's going to be a workhorse for a while.
A discussion in chat about the Z flag, as I stumble over my words, and a good time to mention that Scarlet Kitty, the Wonderful, is doing our tracking this evening. Thank you. She also has done a tremendous job with many of these Z sprites, which just helps make the game more fun.
Absolutely. And as you may or may not be noticing, the color palettes for our lovely characters here have also been slightly altered, different colors here and there. And that was also done by our wonderful Shala Kitty, as I understand. So thank you to her for that. And that is done by our -fab flag.
That was also done in conjunction with the idea of the duplicate party characters, so that you can tell which Rydia, which Sid you're looking at from a menu.
As well as you can't as you can see on Poiterak's screen, Edwardix, Jidia, Kitty, that is done by the silly name flag that you can set up individually. It's not an actual flag. It's something you can set up individually after you have started the seed. Before you actually start the game, and it basically randomizes the name of each of the different characters so you can tell them apart.
Simbu is set to defend Fabul. We shall see how those efforts go. It's a nice early boss spot, usually pretty quick to clear.
Well, we got the Magus sisters there, so that should prove to be interesting.
Zeus Rage, it's going to get off before the wall goes up. That may do it. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And and Edward on the cleanup.
Good solid quick kill for Simbu there.
Yeah. So Warp, which would, in the olden days of glitches enabled, was a great thing to have automatically, but you touched on this earlier, the glitch flags are now kind of on an individual basis. Tower key and a siren, what a reward. So one glitch enabled the life glitch, allowing for more experience, but none of the others.
Absolutely. That means the item duplication glitch is off. The Giant of Babel dwarf glitch is off. And the obviously the 64 floor warp glitch is off.
Also MP underflow.
Yes, the MP underflow glitch is off as well.
Dr. Krasik is going down to summon monsters, be able to check out the shops here, not too much else. There's a little bit to loot as well, and you can find out if D-Mist is hanging out here. But the levels just aren't even going to be anywhere near in contention for actually beating these bosses.
But there is that free key item in the chest.
It is one of the eligible locations, but it's also not automatic, so we'll find out how this goes. Tiara, black shirt, rune ring, that's some pretty good stuff for sale.
Given our party so far, yeah, it's definitely not bad. He's also the first of our restreamed runners to make it underground. Ooh, Age of Shield in the grass of Silvera. That's my personal favorite shield.
Blocked in both directions, which way do you go? Deja working on the item shop check. This is a good idea. Just to find out, even if you can't buy things, what's for sale where. Tents, cabins, lifes. You never know where hourglasses, sirens, or coffins might be. Good to kind of check the world.
Yep, looks like we have a legend sword in the Fey March. So that opens up Kokol's shop, as they already have the adamant.
Yeah, that works out unusually well. To find both of them that early is very nice. Also potentially gives you a great endgame weapon for Cecil if we locate him. If not, Edge can always throw it if we find him.
Take the words right out of my mouth.
Or you can find the crystal sword and throw it with Edge anyways. Simbu is going to be the only one on our stream so far that's going after getting Tella.
Probably just checking the key item, but as a side note, the crystal sword is actually not throwable by Edge.
No, I meant that Cecil could equip the crystal and Edge could throw the Excalibur anyway. So
oh, I'm sorry.
So you could hybrid. You could do both. You could both have Cecil and throw the Excalibur.
Always good.
But yeah, Crystal is one of those that they didn't let you throw. In fact, it was almost unusually good that they let you throw the Excalibur. I think the surprising one is the White Spear.
Yeah.
Okay, for sale, Gaia Drums!
And
Not
Rune
bad.
Axes.
We picked up a free Rune Axe, so that's
Yeah,
not quite as
but-
hype.
Yeah, not quite as hype, but find a Kane. We haven't found a good spear for Kane if he decides to show up, but he can't equip the Rune Axe.
There was a Blizzard Spear for sale. That's not quite what you're going for, though.
Yeah, Rune Axe is far and away better than the Blizzard Spear.
Mylon doing his thing. Somebody trying to stay alive. There's our Hourglass ones, Bacchus wines, cabins. What an item shop this is. The doors have been holding out on us. Dross sold the mute knife. I kind of would have liked to hold on to that, but I guess if he's got a rune axe, he's still fine. It's one of those emergency break glass weapons for Asura.
Yeah, I was gonna say the mute knife does have that +5 to will for Rydia, so it's not a bad weapon for her, especially early on.
Simbu survives and finds the Luca key. That's interesting.
Ominous.
That's one of those where, if that's the right answer, what an advantage for Simbu.
Especially at this stage of the game, because no one else has been there yet.
Yeah, and unless you do mount ordeals, as Dr. Kasich seems to be doing now, you don't have a lot of reason to go back there.
That's a very good point.
Question in chat, what is the Luca key again? That is what opens the sealed cave where in vanilla the darkness crystal would be.
Originally given to you by Gaia, King of the Dwarves, after attempting to defend his dark crystal.
Right, so I think in Simbu's case, I'd be surprised if the next play isn't 2 ordeals after you picked up Tella, unless you're just literally just having him take up space. But those spells would be so good for you right now.
Looks like Simbu's going to be heading underground here. Looks like Vitasia is taking a peek in the in the Feymarch, trying to find that trap chest here, or maybe trying not to find the trap chest.
Well, if you find it early, it's actually what it does for you is you can safely check the rest of them, since there's only the one trap chest. So if you save and find it early, it can be very good for you.
Yeah, get you access to some extra loot.
Dr. Kasich has Mom Bomb. I think this was the first boss on Ordeals, so Mylon. But still, it's Mylon plus 10,000 when it's Mom Bomb Phase 1. Once it goes to Phase 2, you can actually kill it.
Yeah. Once it splits off, you can just kill all the little bombs individually and kill them. Otherwise, you got to do the extra 10,000 HP worth of damage to kill him before he splits.
You are gonna take the damage explosion. Thankfully, Sid has a nice big stack of HP to help you. As long as you got the life potions to recover with. Or not, you don't necessarily have to worry about the experience. This is also one of the early game places where sirens can be put to good use because you can get the double Lamia encounter for a lot of experience. Simbu's showing off another good use of the sirens. He's gonna scramble some eggs for 32,000 experience. Or no, 14,000? Wait,
34.
What? 34. Okay, I can't read. It's late.
That's all right.
It's not, but I'm saying it. They're also vulnerable to insta-death, so coffins work wonders here, and it gets your party a lot of early game levels.
Yeah, one of everyone's favorite places to grind, especially in the early game. A lot of decent levels early on.
Welp, speaking of things that are not your favorite, here's Plague.
Yep, everybody hates Plague.
So there's kind of two ways you can be when dealing with plague. You can be overpowered or you can be under. And this is a scenario where we're underpowered because just really not a great way to deal with him here. Dark Cross is Cossack is showing off one of the strategies you can do, which is have somebody dead, bring him back to life. Plague will recast his skill on everybody, resets the count. You kill a person, bring him back to life, reset the count. You can do that ad infinitum.
Yeah, and that's about the only way to beat him, especially when you're underpowered. Okay, and you can just rinse, repeat until dead.
There are some things you can do to your advantage, and looks like Sid is bringing the damage. Arrows should also work pretty good here. Just any arrows would do nice damage. Dr. Cossack has made it through.
Yep, and it looks like we have Dark Imps in the first round of Dwarf Castle. He got that the hourglass off, but Edward hugs the floor anyway.
Yeah, fantastic news to find them with an hourglass in reserve. Also, it shows why Simbu did that mini level grind to be able to do this spot. They will also be vulnerable to insta-death, though, so if you had coffins, you could use it on them.
Yeah, but why waste the coffins when you can just hourglass them and whack at them?
Fatal would also work. I believe Stone would work as well. But we don't have telespells, because Simbu didn't do Mount Ordeal. Ooh, Wagapogo!
Good old Ogopogo.
Not a key item, but at this point, commit to the bit, and hey, now if you go pick up Tele, he's got all the spells.
Looks like
I'm
Poydrak
sorry, I missed what that occupation was.
Yeah, so
I didn't
did
expect
I.
an occupation check.
I was just about to say Poydrak looting Tamra's treasury, but I didn't see what he got or what the occupation was before he heads into Dwarf Castle. Chat saying a Dragoon Spear.
That was the Mount Ordeals item.
Oh, I missed that as well. I'm horrible today.
Yeah, no key items. There we go. Irradiated fuel handler. I believe that. Thank you, Mr. Yvek. So let's explain that for anybody who may not be familiar. In vanilla, you talk to that dwarf and he says, I'm a farmer. Somebody came up with the suggestion to Boardface of it being a random occupation. So anytime you're doing a casual run, feel free to talk to that dwarf and find out what he does for a living. He'll be happy to tell you. Ooh, we got the Antlion.
And Rosa have a proper healer.
Being in the front row may not be ideal. Oh, this is another subtlety that I don't think about all the time because it doesn't come up all the time. Rydia just got her summons. So that means now you can summon Titan, use Quake, etc. So it's a very useful place to come if you have Rydia.
Yes. Unfortunately, Antlion does not want Posa to live.
We can always get her levels later. Important thing is to get through the fight, and it looks like we do that. There we go. Rydia gets experience. Rosa gets experience. Rydia gets experience. Tele gets experience. Everybody gets experience.
Everybody gets experience.
Except Thief from FF1.
Yeah, Thief never gets experience. Looks like Poidrak is going to be scrambling some eggs as well.
If you have the ability to quickly kill these eggs, there's a lot of value in it. They have 1800 HP, so very close to doing that much damage with Rydia.
Vitasia doing the Sheila 1 check, gets himself a package. We'll see if he's going to do the head over to Village Mist. I can't talk today. And check the character and the burning sprite, because that's just another wonderful thing that's been randomized in the 3.0 update.
Simbu's routing has been rewarded with the Darkness Crystal. A lot of benefits unlocked for there. Almost the whole world is open to Simbu now. He'd need the hook for the whole world. He just gets most of it.
Cabins and Bacchus wines in Tamra item shop. Poidrak saw that earlier, but we see it now.
Package check, and that's where the duplicate character is. That's another Rosa, but Vitasia doesn't know.
Looks like he's gonna stick around for Rosa.
Yeah, Chad appreciating the irony that Rydia is doing this to her own village. Dr. Cossack has picked up Tella now with the Mount Ordeals complete, as well as the only one to have all those spells available, which just opens up some utility for you. Especially white magic wise, Tella's list is quite impressive.
Yeah, it's just his black magic that suffers greatly.
Still some really good stuff there, though, including Stone, which can get you through a bunch. But you can always Berserk Sid as an option. Hey, you know what this would be a good time to bring up? With the start of GDQ coming, be sure to keep a look on the schedule for when we're doing Free Enterprise. I think it's on the last day or next to last day. I don't have the schedule up in front of me. But several of our community members participating in that, thank you, Scarlet Kitty, Friday for the Free Enterprise race will be in GDQ. That is a very exciting moment for this community all around, in my opinion. And I've been here for a while, so really excited to see that happen.
Yes, definitely keep an eye out for the AGDQ Free Enterprise Randomizer race. Looks to be Friday at 4:45 Eastern.
Probably be a group chat going in the Discord as well.
Definitely, I would assume. Dr. Cossack in his Magus Sisters fight, while Poidrak is taking out his Dark Imps.
Simbu finds the water hag in Asura's spot, but can you kill it before it kills you?
Just gotta whack it
Probably
3
with
times.
Sid. Well, not just 3 turns, because Water Hag is so much faster. You have to be able to survive. But it looks like Sid is powerful enough to do that.
Possibly. There goes Tella. There's hit number 2.
Just got to be able to get the one more shot in.
And
there
it is.
Worked out well for Simbu. Now, what is the payoff?
An Avenger. Not supremely useful right now, but who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those things you're looking at it and hey, this is a great pickup, but oh, I don't have anybody who can use it yet. As for places we could still get a character, but we know where Yang is because we got the bed check already. Earth Crystal is still out there somewhere, which would lead us to 2 characters. Giant of Babel still has a character behind that, but you almost never see that one. We've not seen the moon character yet.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't figured out who our moon friend is.
And we also have one behind the hook. We've not found the hook yet to check that.
So lots of good opportunities to find Cecil or Kane, and we'll go from there. Looks like Fantasia is scrambling some eggs of his own. We got some hungry players tonight. Everyone seems to want scrambled eggs.
Yeah, when you have those sirens, it's just so easy to come over here, get 10-15 levels in the early game like it's nothing, and that just really makes it so much easier to get through the mid-game. Simba's got an Excalibur for his trouble. Chat would like to know what happens when you find somebody with a full party. Go ahead. Working?
What will happen is the character, you'll get a little pop-up screen that says such and such character would like to join your party, and you get to pick what character to dismiss, including the character who's trying to join your party. And you'll also be given the chance to take their equipment from them, if you so choose. So you are given the option to take the character that's coming or dismiss them.
Now this is interesting. Simbu has gone for the tower check, not leaving the subworld before checking out what's going on the moon. I do understand the idea that you probably can't kill moon bosses yet, but at the same time you're missing out on that character spot, which is more likely to be Edge or Pasoya, since it's one of the ones they're eligible to be at. And you're also not able to check the Hummingway shop.
Simbu going for it, bypassing the safe spot, but he thought about it for a minute.
A good follow-up question is about events that normally remove characters. Those events will not change your part.
Well, he sees that it's CPU and he thinks about it, but he goes for it.
I don't think Simbu did ordeals, if I recall correctly, but you do have Titan to be able to bypass the wall. And Rosa, I don't know if she has float.
No,
Definitely wouldn't have wall.
Looking at her HP values, I don't suspect that she does.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be a damage-dealing game. See if you're able to get CPU down before Global 1999 does too much to you.
Or just life through it.
These are not too bad. Fortunately, Titan not doing as much damage to CPU as we might hope. Going for the Zerk strats, I love it.
Risking it for the biscuit.
If I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what it was called, Global 1999. Okay, 199. I apologize, I added a 9. My bad, I added a 9. It would have made that virus, though, much more interesting, because that was one of the big viruses back in the day.
Yeah, Way back
Happy
in the Y2K.
I mean, I always thought that's what it was a reference to anyway, so I just had that in the back of my head. Now, Vatasia also doing the fight against CBU. Thank you, Karmakin. You're my favorite tonight. It was probably supposed to be 1999, but got hit by the character limit. I'll go. I choose to go with that story.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Always a classic quote. So, this is interesting.
You doing Simbu a favor in Globe 199, the Berserk Sid.
Chat would like to know if the music is randomized. Generally speaking, no. But I do strongly recommend you check out the harp location when you have it. Speaking of new features in this update of the randomizer, in a casual playthrough this week where I was testing this flag, I noticed that you could replay the harp song if you so chose.
Yes, that was something that came out with the 3.0 release. Was
technically, it's 0.0.3.0.
Yes,
if you want to get technical.
Yeah, it's technically 0.30, but I'm just calling it the 3.0 because that's the way my mouth is working. But yes,
Cossack has gone after some of the trap chests here to find the alert. These are not incentivized, but they can still have really good... Chat, you're killing me. These trapped treasure chests draw from a different pool of rewards, which is usually a little better. Right, getting low on magic points now. I think Simbu was waiting for... Okay, changing strats now. That's what's going on. Yeah, 15,000 HP here it looks like, and that's no small number with this party.
No, it's not. And his Rydia's run out of magic points, so it's down to Tella and Sid to just chew through these hit points of the CPU, and it's just an underpowered fight against CPU is just it's doable. It's just not fun.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where if you had all of Tella's spells right now, he'd have slow available. You'd at least be able to slow the Mazer down. Good point in chat from Rivers, one of the runners will be at HEDQ, is all of the orb revives. This actually stands to be a lot of experience if you get through the fight. But you gotta get there first. Some of the things you can do here is if you've got the bow and arrows, you've got Rosa and Sid as potential archers, you can do Dancing Dagger on Edward and Rydia and bypass the wall. Otherwise, just gotta settle in. This is gonna take a while.
one of those, go get a snack and a beverage, take a bio break, and he'll probably still be fighting him at that point. Oh, takes it out with the Clutch Titan.
That's gonna feel really good. Now just hopefully the reward matches the effort. Meanwhile, you can see how much faster a time Vatasia had with that fight. Do we need to get you on oxygen now?
Yes.
Alright, so now that is Edward's best weapon, so looks like we're going to get to see it in action. Question in chat, you don't remember the spoon from the main game. Well, in order to get it, you had to whack Yang in the head with the pan down in the subworld, take the pan back to his wife, show her the wife, and she would give you the spoon, which you could then throw at Ramos for 9,999 damage. Or maybe I should stick with the themes of adding nines. Let's see, 9,999,999,999 damage. Yeah, something like that. Bye, Asura. But knowing about that is actually kind of important in the randomizer because there's two potential items available from Yang's wife. One of them only when you show her the pan after it's whacked Yang in the head. Alright, so Simbu has finished up the tower. We will see what his reward for tower key was once he gets to the base. A lot of things could still be out there, but technically speaking, all he needs now is the crystal to be able to complete the game. With Darkness Crystal, he's able to get to Zaramos the long way.
And looks like they're going to get a rat tail from completing the tower, or completing the cannon boss. Still need the hook to turn it in, though.
So, I think at this point we've seen everything sans the moon and Leviathan that we have access to.
Pretty much. So, the hook is either on the moon or it's at Leviathan, which is guarded by either Rubicant or the fight with the four fiends.
Technically speaking, we do have access to one other boss spot, which is if we went to Zot, you could get to the Mega Sisters where D-Mist could be hanging out. Oh, actually, Simbu has the Luca key and did not check that yet. Dr. Crosstech has it, so does Poydrak, but nobody's gone to the cave yet.
Yeah, but that's probably one spot that'll be saved till last.
I think it makes the thing about it is you can save outside the cave, run all the way in and find out what the item is. And if it's not your progression item, you can just reset, not fight the boss. Not even take a single fight.
This is very true, and a strategy used quite often, to be honest. But and honestly, I'm quite surprised no one's done that. It only costs you a couple minutes if it's nothing.
I'm not even sure it costs you 2 minutes. Chad asks about Water Hag. You would normally fight this quote-unquote boss with just Edward. That would be after the Antlion Cave in Vanilla.
Yep, in Kaipo, overnight after you've used the Sand Ruby on Rosa, if I remember correctly.
I'll buy that for $1. Not literally.
Simbu finally making his way up Mount Ordeals. He'll be pleasantly surprised to find nothing.
Trying to kind of read through a runner's strategy, it looks to me like Simbu wants to cover all the bases before going to the moon. And just make one trip there, assuming that if he doesn't find it on the overworld, the odds are the crystal itself is on the moon.
Yeah. And he'll be able to do his grind on the moon as well. As it stands, he's got a decent-ish party for the moon. Tella's going to spend a lot of time kissing dirt. Edward's now formidable. He's a little fragile, but he can deal out some damage. He's got a white mage. He's got a black mage. Sid can tank for him. Looks like Vatasia taking on Rubicant, minus Tella. So he's got an open spot. But still with that spooned up Edward.
Asia challenging Rubicon. That can be very interesting depending on your setup, but hopefully you have some ice arrows. Chad asks about Waterhag being the boss spot, even though Kaipo's not a boss spot. I'm forgetting exactly how this works. Okay, never mind. Backtrack. There were one boss spot short, unless... No, I'm not saying that right. Ask Boardface in the Discord if you really want an answer. But yeah, there's a boss spot we don't see, which causes a floating one, because in Fabul, you only have the Fabul Gauntlet for loose, but also you add Kane, who we're not fighting. So we end up with one extra boss out there. Though I have lobbied in the past that I think Pink Puffs should be in the boss pool. Also, Boardface is in the chat, so that's nice. Boy Drag finishes Ordeals. Vatasia working on Dwarf Castle. Dr. Cossack dealing with CPU. No one with the Darkness Crystal has gone to the moon yet.
Which, for as long ago as we found it, I'm kind of surprised no one gambled heading up there. At least to check out our moon friend.
Yeah, I really would have loved to have seen that, especially our runners with only 4 party members.
Or at least to get rid of Tella.
He's got the spoon now. He's not as bad.
You're talking about Edward. I'm talking about Tella.
Tella's not bad, though. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Tella is bad. What are you talking about?
Tella can cast Berserk. He's useful. He casts Berserk, he can cast Slow.
That's what
He's useful all the way through to the second Big Bang. And then I don't need 5 characters at that point anyways.
We're just going to be in a circular argument here. You realize this, right?
Well, I mean, you could just give up.
That's what I'm doing, because I'm not going to engage myself in a circular argument.
So we're getting the whale at this point, and now we will see a moon check, because, like I said, I think we've cleared out everything. Did Vatasia get past Rubicant? Because I didn't see
No,
him.
he reset.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough spot to do on low levels.
Yeah, I think the only reason they were able to take out the Assure spot is because it was Water Hag, and you only had to whack it 3 times.
Oh, well, somebody in chat likes this. We're having fun.
Hooray!
If you're gonna do this, you may as well have fun with it. Never take yourself too seriously.
My thoughts exactly.
Podrak is checking out Yang laying down on the job. I guess it doesn't hurt to know who the Sand Ruby character is. You don't have the Sand Ruby, and then you know you don't want to come back here, but you do want 50 life potions, because why not?
Of course, you always want 50 life potions.
Well, I mean, if shops are free, you'd rather have 99, because it's faster.
This is true.
Simbu is gonna do the sealed cave check.
Yeah, looks like he just activated his big whale and then decided to come back underground. Probably
Based on where he was
change
in the
his
world,
strategy.
it made sense. You just go ahead and get the cutscene out of the way since you were nearby. And it literally was on the way from Ordeals to here. Saves, I guess, wants to keep the ninja sword, but can reset to the outside spot anyways, so that still works.
Looks like we do have Poiterak on the moon, so he's going to be the first person to find out who our moon friend is. After he checks the shop, finds Hourglass 2's Heals and Illusions. Nothing there. And the crystal is in the sealed cave. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in go mode!
I don't think you need oxygen after that one, but you might need a glass of water. Maybe with a little lemon.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize to
Dark
those
Knight.
of you in headphones.
Dark Knight Cecil. Hey, remember about a half hour ago where I speculated that the crystal could be behind the Luca key? I want to point that out.
Yeah, you called it.
So, survive 3 hits from Dark Knight Cecil, and then all you need is enough levels to kill Zaramos.
Yep.
Maybe another character.
Yeah,
Oh,
I surmise Simbu's going to be... he's going to go check out the moon friend, and he's going to be grabbing enough sirens and hourglasses to take out some King Ryus. And he's going to be our... at least the first of our restreamers to finish. That's just a guess, though.
So the catch-22 on Poitrak's side of replacing Tella is it's actually Tella who can do the most damage for you right now in getting experience. If you just turned on encounters on the first floor when you've got the carry wizard combo, you can just knock them all out with stone in one shot.
Well, he can also just go to, I believe it's Lunar Subterrane B6, throw an hourglass, and
can also use
just
weak from
take out the
Tella
King
and
Ryus
kill
for
them substantially
1,000.
faster.
Say what?
You can use weak from Tella and kill them substantially faster.
Yeah, but then you're still stuck with Tella.
You can also get to the reuse faster if you go via Bahamut Cave, but it only has one key item location as opposed to the subterranean here having a lot more.
Well, that
Yes,
and without the
Poitrak
pass,
is going to the
they're
safe
going to
one.
be having to take the long walk of shame anyway.
I think Poitrak is going to the save point door from there. That way you've got a good backup before you try going for this.
Very true. Problem is, though, is that he's not in the right location.
You could potentially check the bosses first to see how hard they are, although there's not many that this party is well set up to kill right now.
No, not at this point. I think magic guards have already been killed, if I remember correctly. I don't think Kaipo guard's been taken out, though. There's still some easy ones.
Yeah, the Ryus aren't hitting that hard, that's the good news, but bad news is you still gotta actually deal enough damage to kill them.
Well, I did watch him equip the Dragon Whip on Rydia, so she'll be doing a substantial amount of damage.
Probably Zerk on her, if you've got it. Not sure if Rosa
does.
I
watched him do it.
Oh yeah, that'll add up eventually. The other thing that Poydrak is going to want to do here, and clearly is set up to do it, is use the life glitch for basically 50% more experience from this fight.
Yep, I'm waiting for him to do it.
Yeah, he's just sitting there on Sid's turn.
Yep, and there it is. That's how you do the life glitch.
So whenever the enemy is fading out, you use a life potion on that. It can't be somebody with the boss bit status, and there has to be a surviving enemy on the screen. And then you get the experience for 2 kills on that enemy instead of just 1. Contrast in grinds, Simbu has gone back to the egg, getting the 10 item experience bonus, so it's double experience now. Who gained 27 levels there? That was Kane getting catch-up. Basically, he got ×3 experience from the fight. Because he joined at only level 10. So he was substantially below the rest of the party.
Looks like Simbu says he's grinded enough and he's gonna head up top.
Might also be going for the moon's higher experience as well. It may have just been to get to a baseline level where you could kill stuff on the moon.
Also possible. I didn't happen to see what level he was at.
I didn't either, but that just wasn't enough time to kill 20-30 eggs.
We'll see if he takes Kane. It's highly possible, because he'll get that catch-up experience multiplier.
Yeah, you've also got the Avenger's Sword, and you're a little shy on the melee damage for Zaramos, so there's a good case to make for Kane. The hard case is for who are you gonna drop out? And so far everybody's saying Tella.
Yeah. Told you Tella's bad.
Bad or just undervalued? Maybe you're all spotting me an advantage when I race you.
No, Tella's bad. Looks like Simbu's party is all mid-40s, which, knowing him, he's rather comfortable in that area, so... He'll probably just do one quick fight of King Ryu's to bring Kane up to speed, and he'll be good to go. And it looks like that's what he's setting up for.
If this is worth substantially more experience than The eggs, the downside of it is the setup to get there. But if you're going to have to walk that path anyways to get to Zaramos, as we are tonight, then that just makes sense.
Answering a question in chat. That is correct. MP Underflow cannot work on the final boss, both due to the free heal beforehand and because the MP Underflow glitch is turned off this seed. So for both those reasons, the MP Underflow glitch will not work.
So much like we saw on Poydrak's side, Simba is heading for the save point first, because why not? Save yourself a bunch of walking if anything just crazy goes wrong. Tasia's also working on this grind. That gives us Dr. Cossack as the only one still on the world looking. And nobody else was brave enough to explore the Luca key. That is just such a big advantage for Simbu, and the advantage is only going to grow in my opinion, because Tasia and Poydrak have every incentive to search the moon first.
Yeah, at this point, Poydrak and Vitasia are probably going to be here on the moon for a while, whereas Simbu's just going to take the hint, well, he's got the hint now, and he's just gonna wrap things up here in just a moment.
Yeah, it'll take a few fights to get enough experience for everybody. Biggest things you're looking at, really, the HP. You want everybody to be able to survive a big bang. The other big thing with this party, you'd certainly want Rosa to have Cure 4. Nuke on Rydia is a luxury, but boy, we'd much rather have it.
Very true. Although knowing Simbu, he's probably just gonna do 1 or 2 King Ryus to get Kane up to speed and call it good.
I think with this party, you'd really, really want Cure, but we'll see. Well, 50, you're close. If not, yeah, you've already got it. Okay. That's just kind of a line in the sand, in my opinion. You really want to have Cure 4 before you try and take on Serranos. A level 50 Kane, that's pretty close. More than that's going to be a nice luxury. But I like it, given the party makeup.
Yeah, and Edward with the spoon is just gonna do ridiculous amounts of damage once he gets berserked and gets going.
And that's the difference of how fast you can do this fight when you have Weak available. That is a lot of experience, and Rydia has Nuke, so at this point, Simbu really has everything you could ask. Except maybe a couple more levels. Or the right agility. He's looking for somebody who's gonna be 24. Which you could still put Sid in the middle spot, you'd get credit as if it were 24.
It's actually multiples of 14, so you'd be looking for 28, 20. And Rydia has 30, so he's going to call that close enough.
Yeah, agility manipulation definitely is helpful when you pull it off, but don't ever cripple yourself over it.
Yeah, and it's also not an exact science. Sometimes Zero just says, nope, you're dead. And he does that every once in a while.
So, Poydrak, as I speculated, checking out the moon bosses. Why wouldn't you? This is the most possible locations for that crystal to be in. The real difference, I think, is going to be, does Dr. Cossack happen to check the Luca key before coming to the moon? That is potentially game-changing. And here we go, Simbu. On to the fight. Scala Kitty, haven't seen the question yet. There it is.
Who are we gonna fight today?
Alright, so if you've never seen this before, anyone now in Free Enterprise can use the crystal. It doesn't have to be Cecil. Once you do that, we reveal Zaramus' full, true colors. And that is just fun.
Also, shall I consider this my official petition for a demon chocobomus?
You haven't been keeping up on the Discord, I'm just saying.
You're right, I haven't.
Here we go. Survey says...
Kongmas!
I think this was actually one of the early ones that Boardface did. The Z flag was one of the original settings that was in the randomizer, and added these. You got Donkey Kong. Another one of the originals was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson-ness. I don't remember who the other originals were. So Avenger Sword's gonna do a fair bit of damage, cure force, keep yourself alive. You can help yourself out a lot by nerfing Big Bang along the way. First round was done by using that Silk Web. That was really nice damage from Sid.
Yeah, it was. The real key here is going to be to keep Edward alive with that spoon and get him berserked.
Setting up for Reflect strats.
Oh, Simbu not going for spoon damage. Surprising. Looks like Poidorak has found Golbez. He's a jerk face.
So the advantage of casting White and Nuke off of this wall is DK will not counterattack that. The downside is you don't nerf the Big Bang, but the HP is pretty good. Rydia and Edward will die to a Big Bang if they take one. That's why Edward's in hiding. So I would guess then the plan is to bring Edward out of hiding after the next Big Bang and be available to do damage again. Ooh, that worked out well. Downside of the wall strats is you're giving DK-ness a little bit of healing. But the trade-off is pretty valuable.
Well, there's the black hole. That wall goes bye-bye.
Yeah, you know that's coming. If you're on good pace, you'll usually only see one of those for the fight. If you're on ridiculous pace, you won't even see the one. But that generally takes a different party composition in higher levels.
True.
But obviously a very manageable fight for Simbu. Everything's going at a good pace. And well positioned to finish this out. It all came down to that Luca key. Simbu picked it up early, didn't do much with it for I think about a half hour, but then just opted to make that check. Lo and behold, it was the crystal. And that is the difference in this right now. Our other three on-stream runners did not check it out.
Oh, Dr. Cossack heading, check the moon friend, and it's heading back down to Earth.
Well, that means potentially Dr. Cossack could still find out where that crystal is. Probably hasn't checked the package. Maybe not the early bosses for Mist Dragon. But other than that, really, Luca Key is the only option.
Yeah, the main
This
thing
looks good.
that they're looking for is either the Mist Dragon or the Luca Key. And we do have our first place finisher, Chakasura, in first place with the official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 49 seconds.
I'll probably check that Luca Key just a little bit faster. But probably a very similar route to what Simbu ran based on the times. I'd actually be curious if there was any party difference there. Podrak is doing battle with Mylon Z. Batasia's got trouble with Leviathan up there. And Dr. Drossic gonna scramble some more eggs. Getting levels now. For the moon, possibly, or perhaps before doing the Luca Cave. We'll find out. A glass helmet for beating Leviathan.
I heard a puppy.
Bit of a slug to get through this DK Moose, but there's Meteo Phase. Simbu near the end now. Less than 10,000 damage to be dealt. And that'll do.
There's the crackle bang. Simbu finishes in second place with an official SRL time of 1:12:08, and he's the first of our restreamed runners to take out DK Omis.
Batasia now doing battle with Golbez. I thought Podrak was fighting Mylon Z. Apparently that was the element spot, because I knew Globalis wasn't there. It's also a good time to mention a thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us this evening. We've had this weekly going on here for a while. They've been a great part of the Free Enterprise community, and we appreciate them. So hope you're following the Speed Gaming family of networks as Podrak is rewarded with the hook.
Alrighty, we're gonna get Simbu in here for an interview here in just a moment.
Okay, maybe we got it now. Simbu, GG.
Thank you.
So it all came down to the Luca Key.
Yep. And what would normally be a really scary boss not being that scary. Dark Knight Cecil in that spot with N1 on is not too bad.
Yeah,
so
Pain
that
was go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, that was a check we didn't see the other runners on stream make, although Dr. Cossack is now making it.
Okay.
But the other runners took the Darkness Crystal path first. Talk about your decision making. Why do you go Darkness Crystal? Why do you go Luca Key first?
Well, to me, Luca Key is a pretty fast check. I knew that at that point, I didn't want to do... I had pretty much cleared the entire Earth. I can't really think of anything else I needed to do, and it was like, I want to go to the moon, but I can put a save point up here by the lunar well, because either I'm going to need the lunar well because I get something good, or I'm going to get the pass, in which case I don't really care about that either. But put a safe spot right up there, and then I thought I can just run down here, go check it, and then I'll have a clean conscience, I'll be in the moon, and nothing to worry about. But today it happened that there was the crystal, so just a somewhat lucky call.
And doing battle with Odin and not going the best, but still alive.
Yeah, and a good call that was. So, what were your thoughts about seeing Pain Man there at Evil Wall Spot?
For half a second I panicked, probably because I've been just the other day I had to fight him at Rubicon on a N2 seed, and then I was like, oh wait, I've got Sid, this is N1, this is not the end of the world, and he wasn't hitting nearly as hard as I even thought he would. 350 is almost the same that he was hitting at Rubicon. I think he was actually hitting for less than he was for me at Rubicon the other day, so... Yeah,
I believe I was there in your stream watching that. That's when you were doing Seed M from the Cataclysm's Eve event. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that, watching you doing that, because I had done that seed during the event and noped out when I hit that wall. So it was kind of that was brutal.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was. He was definitely hitting for less here at Evil Wall Spot than he was at Rubicon.
Yeah. I mean, Evil Wall doesn't have a ton of attack power. It's just really fast, and it has a lot of magic power because, we have to make sure Petrify can hit you. So, as long as you don't get a magic boss there, you're pretty safe. Obviously, you can't go in there with a level 20 team and expect to win, but... if you have a halfway decent team after 3 or 4 sirens or some dwarf castle or something like that, you're going to be just fine against a physical boss there.
Absolutely.
Couple quick notes: we've seen Dr. Cossack pick up the crystal now, and we've had our 3rd place finisher in Dusty Griff at 113. So about a minute and a half between you there.
Okay.
GG's to Dusty Griff.
Indeed. Looks like Vatasia going... I think that's the Odin. No, that's not the Bahamut spot. Going for Revenge against Odin.
So how many people decided to nope out a CPU instead of grinding on it for what felt like 10 minutes like I did?
I think everybody else took that fight later, so they were just more powerful and got through it faster.
Okay.
Vatasia took it at roughly the same time as you, but they took the long strat of just kill the defender and long grind on the CPU. They killed it but they ended up killing it just about the same time as you.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted it to go as fast as possible, but that's not the greatest spot in the world for it. It's fairly fast and everything, but eventually I got through it.
Yeah, and that spot has seemingly had more hit points than either you or even I remembered it to have, because it just did not want to die.
It has about 17,000 total, I think, and I mean, I could see the cures from the defender. I think it was doing something like 1,500 or so, which means he has 15,000 HP or something. I knew that he had a lot. It's just that Sid and Rydia were my only physical damage at that point, and they weren't going to go through it quickly.
Yeah, and trying to quake through it with Titan on Rydia, it just wasn't outputting the damage necessary to quick kill it.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be quick. At least I got some EXP from it, but that was probably it's the one fight that I wish I hadn't done, because yeah, it got me the spoon and technically 10 key items, but I would have rather gone to the D-Lunar chest and found something there, or something other than that.
Yeah, that was going to be my other question, is I expected you to Zerk Edward on Zeromus, but instead you just hit him and just left him. Yeah,
I wanted to bring him out near the end because either I would do something silly and needed him to do something, but he was going to die to a full power Big Bang. He was only 1300 HP and he had no defensive equipment, so I decided I'm going to wait until I can bring him out and let him do work right at the end of the fight instead of while I'm trying to set everyone else up, trying to get him set up too. It just didn't feel like there was enough turns for me.
Okay, so it was trying to be able to use them strategically rather than say front load your damage.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Had our fourth place finisher in Zilch. There was not a lot of party choice tonight. You really only got to choose between the 5 you had for the whole game or swapping Kane in there at the end.
Yeah, I didn't check the package, but
that was duplicate Rosa.
Okay, so yeah, it wasn't a huge party list, but yeah, one small thing about the Edward, when you get Zeromus into second phase, he will always do his 2400 Big Bang, and then, or 8-hit Big Bang, whichever you want to call it, and then he'll use Black Hole, Nuke, and then he will wait a extra turn before he starts his next Big Bang. So that's the largest amount of time to just bring someone out and zerk them. So that was my strat. I was kind of upset when the Nuke hit him, but he survived with like 20 HP, so it was wonderful, and he just sat there and dealt the last of the damage I needed.
Dr. Cossack is on the final level grind. Poitrak, I think, has finished the moon and now gets to try and do turn-ins, which has got to lead to some convoluted chain to be able to finish this one off.
Yeah, this seed has been rough. We've even had a couple of forfeits today so far, but most people seem to be sticking it out. Any other questions or comments, Simbu?
No, not really. I halfway wish that it was V1 instead of V0 because we found the Adamant and the Legend Sword so early.
Yeah,
and we just didn't have a Edge or a Cecil to use it with.
Yeah, that's what me and Trent were talking about. Is we had a Crystal Sword and a, or not a Crystal Sword. We had an Excalibur at least so early that an Edge or a Crystal would be, Cecil would be really, really good. But he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, that was half the reason I did Ordeals. Is I was saying, you know, if I was trying to decide, do I want Tella to do weeks on the moon, or do I want to just go in there and Dragon Whip or grind on the surface? But I decided, okay, let's go up Ordeals, and just because if there is a Cecil, I would like to take him with that X-Cal in my inventory. And then he never showed up, but I did immediately go and find the Crystal Luca key, so take what you can get.
Yeah, well, at least Kane showed up and you had that Avenger for him, so.
Yeah, Avenger and Dragon
Lance,
that was
prize.
Nice. That was actually another little strategy I employed. Is I got everyone almost to Z levels and then went to check the characters. So if there was someone good, I could do 1 or 2 dragons and slingshot them all the way up to Zeromus levels, which I think was a very good decision.
Yeah, it was. I was speculating that you were just gonna try and lowball Z with what you got, because just knowing you, knowing you being comfortable doing that, and then when you got Kane, it's like, oh, he'll just do a couple of dragons, slingshot Kane, and call it a day.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go in at the levels I went to the moon because I could have sat there with Sid and Rosa and won the battle, but it would have taken ages. So, yeah, just decided to get them up to Z levels and finish it off nice and easy.
Yeah, and that decision paid off really well for you, pulling in second place.
Yeah. Probably if I hadn't been so safe and used Battle Speed 2, it would have been extremely close. I don't know if I would have made up the minute, but Battle Speed 2 was probably a mistake. That fight felt so slow, which Zeromus is really slow if you do 20 agility and Silk Web, so just a little bit too much safety on my end, so it'll be fine though.
It's
either
still
way,
a good finish, and there's always the next one.
Yeah, second place is nothing to be ashamed about.
Anyway, that's about everything that was on my mind, so thanks for commentating, guys, and have fun with the rest of the race.
Thanks for coming in, and again, GG to you.
GG.
Simbu, the first place of our on-stream featured runners to finish. He's second place overall. Vitasia is now exploring some of those lands that were left behind before. And probably going for the Leviathan spot. I don't remember if Vitasia finished the Asura spot already or not.
Yep, looks like Poiterac is now taking on CPU. He'll be rewarded with the spoon once he finishes. And it looks like Dr. Cossack is heading for his Z fight.
As far as where the items were, the biggest points were the Magma Key was at Antline, the Darkness Crystal was Dwarf Castle, and the Crystal was behind the Luca Key, and I think the Luca Key was Mount Ordeal.
I'm sorry, I blinked for a second. Can you repeat that?
Was Luca Key Mount Ordeal?
No.
Or Baron Inn?
Magma Key.
No, Magma was Antlion.
Right.
It's Luca Key, I'm asking. Baron Inn. Thank you, Scott Kitty.
Yeah, sorry. My memory just tanked for a minute.
Yeah, so those were the only 4 spots you had to go. Dr. Cossack climbing through the subworld. Hopefully saved. It's one of those things, even though you know you're gonna beat Zaramos a lot, just once in a while something goes wrong, your timing is just off on one thing and you're chasing it, and then the battle goes wrong, and hopefully you don't have to do the whole giant walk over it.
Yeah, like I said before, every once in a while Z just says, nope, you're dead, and proceeds to make sure everything in the fight goes absolutely wrong for you.
It's one of those things that the more you play this randomizer, the more you fight Zaramos, so you'll kind of get confident in your strats of going through there usually. This would have been a hard day for me just because the party composition wouldn't be what I normally run with. And
yeah,
there was just no other options available.
Yeah, I would be in that same boat. This would not be an ideal party comp for me either. It would definitely be something I could work with, but definitely not my preference.
Alright, here goes Dr. Cossack against Ramos. Soon to reveal the true colors. Evelyn has finished in the 5th place meanwhile, 129.28.
And nearly a 10-minute gap between 4th and 5th place, so that tells you just exactly how trolly that Luca Key crystal is.
Yeah, I think you can basically look at what we're seeing and say the top 4 probably went Luca Key before the moon. And with Evelyn, I really couldn't say. Might have done some other things before Luca Key, and it just took longer to get there. But from here on, I think we're seeing people who went to the moon first. Because, I mean, if you fought all those lunar bosses, your levels are fine without a big level grind at this point. Earth Crystal was given to us by Rubicant, so Vatasia could be our first runner to actually get a different party composition. Well, I say that Dr. Cossack actually still has Tella replaced Sid, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm kind of surprised that he did that. Although most likely just to keep Tella as an agility anchor.
It's pretty well investing all your eggs into the Kane Edward basket, although I don't remember if we ever saw a heroine. It's possible you could heroine up Rosa for damage as well.
Moonblaze Wolf finishing in 6th place with an official SRL time of 1:31.18. GG's to him.
These extra levels at the end can just make such a difference. I'm just noticing that how much less damage this Kane has versus Simbu's Kane. And obviously it's the same character, but I think Simbu had just a little bit more levels. So one of the other things that Tella can do for you is Cure 4 is the low time cast, the lowest time for any of the heal spells, and Tella has it, so if nothing else, can full heal one character for you.
That he can.
I think we're also seeing, though, maybe the relative agility isn't quite as good for Dr. Cossack, and this probably is the faster battle speed as well. But it feels like Zaramos is going a little faster in this one. That's why you always need more than the minimum Bacchus wines that you can reapply.
Exactly.
Also, to have Tella alive this late goes to show that Dr. Cossack has done a good job nerfing the Big Bang. Reader's Digest version, let Zaramos do the shake, do anything that causes counter nuke, and the next Big Bang should be weaker unless you had a phase change.
Yeah, keeping Tella alive through all these Big Bangs is rather impressive.
Yeah, that means every Big Bang that has happened has been under 1,000 damage. Virus coming out. You don't see that often.
Unfortunately, Edward's just been the target of quite a bit. That's why he's eating dirt.
There's a crystal get for Poydrak.
Poydrak now in go mode. We should see him on the moon here and taking out Z fairly quickly.
Yeah, but after beating all those lunar bosses, can't imagine you even need one more level for anybody at this point. 1700 max HP for Poydrak's Rydia versus Dr. Cossack, who did do a grind, has only 1500. You're going to get higher levels from fighting all those extra bosses than you'd set out to get for just this fight.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, unnerfed Big Bang got through. Tella and Edward both getting their face run through meteors.
As long as Rosa has enough magic points, I think you're still fine here. Kane's just going to use Bacchus wines for the Berserk. Rosa doesn't need to do that.
Except it looks like Dr. Cossack is out.
Well, that's a little less pleasant then. Gotta do Berserk the manual way. Now, when I said I would struggle a little bit with this party composition, this is a good example of what I'm talking about. It's just, it doesn't follow the same rhythm as what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just a little. Yeah, it just doesn't follow the same rhythm.
Yeah. We have Baka Shinobi finishing in the 7th place, 135.34.
GG's to him.
Cure 4 is gonna do plenty of healing while it's just the 2 characters. But there is the concern of, is Rosa gonna have enough MP to do that for the duration? You can see it's already getting low. And that Cure 4 gets expensive.
That it does. I hope he's got an Ether 2, an Elixir, something.
We've got Poidrak on to the moon path with the crystal in hand now. Meteo phase. This is good. He's got enough HP to do it. He just needs to be able to get the attacks in. It's not ideal, but it is still very doable. Meteo just doesn't do a ton of damage when it's against multiple characters like this.
Crackle
And
boom!
there it is.
Dr. Cossack has finished with an official SRL race time of 1:37.04, putting him in 8th place. GG's to him.
Yeah, second of our on-stream runners. That's the power of a good routing choice. Both of our on-stream runners who have finished went and checked that Luca key out before going through all of the moon. Simbu is correct that Meteo is multi-target, so the characters doesn't change. Yes, but what changes is how many people you need to live through it. So, good clarification point. See Poidrak go into this fight soon. One advantage from clearing out these moon bosses, you've got the adamant armor from the Pinktail, as well as a ribbon, so defensively much better shape for Poidrak. Vatasia is taking the path of the Earth Crystal. There was D-Mist all along, and you could have come here without the Earth Crystal and found D-Mist.
Yeah, but as we know, D-Mist doesn't lead to anything of great importance.
No, I did notice, though, that Fusoya is behind this, so we could see a party member change for Vatasia. PMA K-Fall has just finished in 9th. Level 60 for Vatasia, so I don't know if you will make that change for Fu or not. I know personally, I'd go ahead and probably make the swap for Rydia.
At this point, I would probably keep Rydia. I don't remember if Vatasia still has Tella. If he does, I would get rid of Tella.
Oh, Tella for Fu, definitely.
Ooh, and there's Edge.
Now there's decisions to make. You're going to slingshot Edge easily. I don't see any reason to pass on him. Well, Matasia says level 60 is enough for you to pass on him. Rumblefish, done in the 10th spot.
GG's to him.
And here we go with Poydrak. It's not that far behind when Dr. Cossack got in here. Biggest difference being that Poydrak already had the leveling done upon finding the Luca key, whereas Dr. Cossack had to go get those levels. Matasia easily handles Gainzano. So a bit different setup for Poydrak than Dr. Cossack had with no tail. 3 melee damage dealers. And looks like it'll be reflex strats for Rydia's nukes. Really good
Edward already doing work.
So I mentioned earlier, when it comes to nerfing Big Bang, anything that gets you to counter nuke, Slow is one of those that's easy to forget about because it's not damage dealing, but it will absolutely trigger the counter nuke and nerf a Big Bang. Looks like Mist Dragon was just the pan all along.
Was that Mist Dragon or is that the pan? Oh, yep, that's the Mist Dragon.
Oh, there you go. Gets it right before the spoiler log for Dr. Cossack catches up to that spot. Now going with the Baron key, let's see. This has to be one of the twins. Because under these flags there's only be one repeat and we already know it's Rosa.
It could also be Cecil at this point as well. I don't think we've seen him.
That's true. What a finish there. 11th and 12th place decided by 2 seconds. Error eking out Eicher.
Yep, coming in at 143.38 and 143.40.
So there's character spots we haven't seen were Baron. We've also not seen the Hook, and we've not seen Giant of Babel. Which you almost never do.
I would put my money on Cecil being a Giant of Babel, because he usually ends up being there.
Fight going pretty smoothly for Poydrak here, that's no surprise. The levels are good, the setup is good, the equipment is good. Just everything's in place to go right. Gonna lose Rydia here to Big Bang. Odin's spot is the Dark Elf.
Edward drops to the Big Bang as well, but
Doesn't matter
because there's the Crackle Bang. Poydrak finishes in 13th place with an official SRL time of 144.39.
Didn't even see a Meteo. Speculation in chat, Patasia must not have SRL up. I'd say that's true, but actually doesn't have the Luca key, so I think there's a forgotten spot here. That would be the biggest issue. That would be Poydrak, I believe, and GG.
Good game, everyone. I love a Rydia Edward start. Something you should never be afraid of, really.
We gotta practice everything to be ready for anything.
Who practices this? I just go with the flow.
Well, I practiced the flag set, so I'd have some idea what was going on.
Yeah, I've always said, give me a Rydia Edward start. Give me the hardest start possible, and I will enjoy it amazingly. And I enjoyed this seed. Sure, the moon was dead, but everything it was still a very enjoyable seed.
Well, the one plus side to diving the moon was you didn't have to do any leveling once you found your crystal.
Yeah, true. But I've been on the train of, if you've got a team you want, do your grind recently, because it makes the rest of the game so much quicker.
That it does. That it does.
One shot of the evil wall for Patasia. And got to get back to Baron Inn because Patasia never picked up Tella. I guess just wrote off the character spot and ended up not checking it for the item either. But right in the neighborhood should do that soon. Hey, there's Cecil.
I was wondering where he was, but Keen on the Moon was everything I needed for my grind, I suppose.
The way this one played out, there really wasn't a lot of party character choice.
No, there wasn't, but I was almost set with what I had going to the Moon. I was saying to myself, right, I would like this to be either Cecil or Kane. I've got the Excalibur waiting down below if I need it. I'll go back and get it. I've just picked up the Dragoon Spear from Ordeals. Either one would work. Kane it was. He rounded out my team, just did my grind. I was ready after that to just find where the crystal was, which, of course, it would be Luca Cave.
Well, here's the one thing that could work out for Vitasia in all this. Just picked up the harp. So we might get music, although unfortunately it looks like Vitasia is going to check the Baron Inn, so that's going to steal the music from us.
Not really. It's just gonna give him the Luca key, and if I was in Vitasia's shoes, I might still go check the harp anyway because while I'm still above ground.
That would be my normal way as well.
So that brings us to a good question, Poydrak. What took you to the moon before checking the sealed cave?
Really, it's something I don't usually do, actually. I don't usually go to the moon unless everything's cleared on the overworld or underworld. I just thought I'd change it up a little bit and see what happened. First I wanted the character, so I thought I might as well just do my grind and then clear it out.
Yeah, and that ended up biting you a little bit this go around.
It would have been okay if I did the grind and then backed out and cleared the rest of the overworld or underworld. But I'm not unhappy that I did cleared out the moon. There wasn't really anything that slowed me down up there. It was except for the time it took. All the bosses were fairly easy enough. It's just I would like there to be more on the moon nowadays than just a sand ruby.
Yeah, that's been something that's been popping up lately is in the Discord that I've seen is a lack of key items on the moon.
Yeah, it seems like the weight or the weighting of key items has shifted somehow. It might have happened with the update 8 to 0.3, but the moon just seems to hold less than it should do. at least in terms of progressional items.
I can't speak to any changes that happened in the latest version. In the previous version, it was already stated there is kind of a bias against there being too many items in one location. Otherwise, you have it being all about the moon or all about Sylph Cave if you're on K3. So
That's true.
That was something that's existing in the code already.
Yeah, but this is... In seats that I've been going on recently, there has been at least nothing really that leads you to the moon and have to come back. So there's nothing been like the tower key, the Baron key, that sort of progressional items, the ones that make you go through loops. It's been the odd ones, maybe the adamant for a key item to in a K4 seed, or the Legend Sword, or single items. Nothing that leads you in all sorts of directions.
Well, Vatasia just made great use of the Kamikaze to take out the one standing party member against Dark Elf. We're about to get music. Real quick before that, BG Rich finishing in 14.
And I will leave it at that. But GG to everyone, and let's have Vatasia come in fairly soon.
All right, thank you, Poindra. GG again.
Okay, and I don't recognize this one.
It's the theme from Wild Arms. If you've never heard the music to that game, strongly recommended. Very good music in that RPG. And that's gonna be the Fat Gauntlet.
Oh, Fat Gauntlet, no. Oh.
Hey, I've always said this is the best place to get them. Scala agrees with me. She types that just as I said it. You get to enjoy more of the song at least.
But at least not Poindrak, but Vatasia will just sit here whole day, and we get to jam out for a while.
With periodic interruptions, just so that the later VOD doesn't have issues. Gargoyle means you are near the end. I didn't make it very far in Wild Arms, but blown away by the music. So good.
Yeah, I never owned a PlayStation, so I never played it.
This will be the final wave, and I believe this is the pass, since that's the only other option.
Which means Vatasia's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why not 100% it? And you did the music for the people. That's really what it was. This was all for the people, intentional plan by Vatasia. Just went out to find the harp for the people.
Planned all along. And it's a power shirt.
Someone's got to be the fan favorite.
In the meantime, BG Rich has finished in 14th place with a time of 1:51.16. GG's to him.
Hey, Dr. Cossack, didn't see you sneak in, but GG to you. May have caught Dr. Cossack by surprise there. Alright, we'll see if he joins us to get a word in here. Vatasia with just one spot left to check. Okay, may not have a mic for that. All right. Kusk is in chat, so. Let's see. Okay, I guess that is the one last thing other than the Luca key that Patasia has, which is to whack Yang with the pan.
Best sound effect in the game.
There it is. So she'll hand over. The crystal sword. Which is not guaranteed, it just happened to be that. And here goes Vatasia to find the inevitable. Do we have you now, Dr. Cossack?
Yes.
Okay, and hopefully I'm not massacring my pronunciation.
No, it's fine. I've had it butchered before.
Well,
Yeah.
you were
Sorry,
second
my
of the
voice
Restream
is
Racers tonight because you checked that Luca key.
Yeah, I was wondering where it was. I think it was an easy boss.
Yeah, Pain Man there just not doing very much damage due to a low physical attack. But any reactions when you saw him there?
I was a little worried that I would die there, but
Zaramos was a little bit of a challenge there. Was that just a case of we were speculating that maybe it just wasn't the normal rhythm with that party composition?
well, probably. I was hoping Edward survived more, so he can get more damage in.
Soon see Vatasia on this path, but with everything done, we'll be at much higher levels. Any other thoughts about this one?
Not really. It was a fun seed.
Well, we're
All
glad
right.
you enjoyed it. Any other questions or anything like that?
No, thanks for having me, though.
Well, thank you for giving us a good show tonight.
Yes, and GG's.
While we're saying thank yous, let's also say thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us this evening. They have been great to the free enterprise community, and it's appreciated. It's also a good time to remind everybody that AGDQ has a free enterprise race coming up. Be sure to watch for that. It'll be Friday in the afternoon. And some of our great community members taking part of that.
Vatasia finally getting his crystal, surviving Pain Man, and he's just gonna make his way out, and he'll be heading for Z. In the meantime, I'd also like to thank Shala Kitty for tracking for us this evening. Many, many thanks to Shala Kitty for not only tracking, but all the things she does for the free enterprise community. She puts in all of the wonderful Zaroma sprites, and as well as doing the palette swaps for the characters. So everyone give your thanks to her.
Also, it's been a while since this has come up, but it's a good time to mention that Skull Kitty also did the icon graphics for the trackers that we use. So, indeed, thank you for all those fine efforts. Did Vitasia really never get the pass? I guess that's the pan turn in. I mean, come on, it's the only thing left. It's the only thing left. Oh, there we go. We are going to get the pan turn in, which is going to be nice for cutting off all the moon exploration. Oh, ordeals have to. That is a good point, Simbu, and you are correct. Never did ordeals because no Cecil, no Tella.
But Vitasia does pick up that pass from Sheila too, so he's just going to take the shortcut. And he should be on his Z fight here very quickly.
Yeah, that was worth it. Question in chat, Cecil at Giant. Cecil was actually at Baron Castle. So Giant had to be one of the twins, and the other twin had to be behind the hook. Not much you could do about that early Excalibur. Vitasia was the only one who had the option and got rid of Cecil. Which at level 60, it's kind of understandable, like just stick with your party. So in vanilla FF4, this was a club, and now it is a transport that takes you straight to the final boss.
Yeah, and at Vitasia's levels, I expect a very quick boss fight. I'll be surprised if Z gets more than one Big Bang off.
Yeah, very similar to what Poydrak had in here, just a lot higher levels. I mean, anytime you're above that level 50 mark, you just seem to see a lot more damage with even just a couple levels. So when you're at 60, the difference is significant. Plus, Sid has 5600 HP, so could survive 2 full-powered Big Bangs.
Yeah, I expect him to be the bounce target if he chooses to go that route. Although with Spoon, Deadward, and Kane, I don't even know if that's even going to be a thing.
We were mentioning earlier that agility anchoring strats, they're not do or die. This is going to be a good example of that on Vitasia's part, because there's no balancing the agility at this point. Not without Sid being the middle character.
Even with him being the middle character, it's just not even worth it.
$3,800 from a whack with Kane's Avenger. A little bit more from the Spoon. First one, not to worry about the Big Bang, but everybody had over 2,000 HP, so you're just not that afraid of a Big Bang.
Vitasia going for quad Zerkers and just going to heal everything up with Rosa, and he's just going to let the game beat itself.
But one of those little subtleties Vitasia did was take the equipment off of Hisoya, so able to put that Lunar Staff on Rosa to get the better stats for casting Cure 4. Obviously very smooth, plenty of damage going out there. It's going to add up, it's just a question of time. So if you'd like to get in on one of these week races, just join us in the Discord. You'll get all the information you could ask for and more.
And starting in February, we also have our World Series of Free Enterprise event coming up. And so those of you who haven't heard about that, check out the Discord for information on that. Get signed up and take a look at the seeds, or at least the flags for the seeds, and get signed up for that. And
several
look forward...
different themes going on. Hopefully find something to fit your tastes.
Yep, and if you're not interested in playing, look forward to those broadcasts starting in mid-February.
Taking some more damage from that big bang. But plenty of time for Rosa to get the cure off, so everything is running smoothly in this fight. There's the medio phase. Almost off the one big bang you predicted. That's gonna be enough. GG. Vatasia finishes 15th, 206.25.
Yep, GG to Vatasia.
To answer the question, when did DK end up in FF? Once Free Enterprise introduced the Z flag, it's for people who just love fun. Speaking of people who love fun, hi Vatasia, thanks for putting all that work in to find the harp for the people.
You know, I figure if I couldn't finish in first place, I might as well go with the memes. Swole word, twin harp, do all of that.
And the memes were had. We appreciate it.
Oh, that was just a rough one. It felt like every decision I made was going terribly, and then I saw the duns were coming in right as I was getting, murdered by Golbez up on the moon. And I'm like, this just might not be my race.
Yeah, the winning decision was an early Luca key, and that was held by Tella at the Baron Inn, which you skipped over, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Baron Inn for whatever reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it why. So this was one of those races. I'm like, yep, it's gonna be a long one for me. So it's unfortunate, but that's Rando's gonna Rando sometime.
Yeah, every once in a while it just seems to do that to you. But at least your Z fight was nice and quick.
Well, Swoleward there was swinging for more than Adamant Avenger Kane, so I am a believer now.
Definitely makes a difference. It's the first time I've seen it on a level 60 Edward.
Yeah, I was in the underground, and I remember it's like, okay, well, I have to go up and I think do Earth Crystal. I'm like, you know what? Let's get some levels here. Let's make Edward a little bit beefy because I'm not coming back to the underground ever. Right.
We
So
have
you
hippos done
thought-
in 16. Any thought to making the party changes? Because you were the only one who was actually faced with those decisions.
Well, by the time I was coming to the point where I would want to switch anyone in the party, I'd already invested too many in the levels. I'd already been on the moon for everyone, and I'm like, no, not going to do it. I'd already just invested too much time in that. So it really hurt for me to say no to Fu and Edge and Zot. And I'm really regretting waiting out that package for Rosa when Rosa was also in Dwarf Castle. But I was looking for a white mage at that point in time. But I mean, by the time I got to the point where I had some viable other party members, I was like, oh, well, I've already dumped a ton of time into these guys. And Edward had a spoon. So memes ho.
Well, any other thoughts on this one?
No, just thank you guys for commentating. Thank you, Speed Gaming, for letting us use their space. Have you plugged the World Series of Free Enterprise yet?
We have.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Everyone should be subscribing to all the channels you necessarily need to, following your favorite runners. Not me, because I'm clearly a scrub, but that's going to be a lot of fun. So get your practice on.
Oh, they should definitely be subscribing to you because you gave us not only Swole Word, but you gave us our harp music.
You've been showed off the new harp feature, being able to play it again.
Yeah, I figured, I'm already in last place. Let's do it. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Take care, everyone.
Take care, Vitasia, and GG's again.
As we start to put a bow on things, we just had the Discord link posted in chat. If you want to get started at all with Free Enterprise, even just casually, especially just casually, please join us in the Discord. Get all the information you can ask for and then some. We'll give you more information than you possibly wanted. Or just exactly the right amount. You know, it depends on the situation. But, Wark, it has been a pleasure. Take us home.
Thank you very much, Trenton. Again, thank you everyone for joining us for the Friday weekly Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise C. We'll see you again on Monday at, believe it's at 6:30 Eastern Time. For the Monday weekly.
9:30.
Oh, 9:30 Eastern. Sorry, I'm West Coast, Best Coast, so it's 6:30 for me. But I have been Christopher Warkin with my co-commentator Trenton. Tracker was Shala Kitty. And thank you again to Speed Gaming for giving us their space to present this to you. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Work!